Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Teng'a here, and today I am going to be doing something that I have been sort of promising to do for quite a while now. I'm going to read my Spider-Man fan fiction to you, or at least the first half, to cut down on video length. Now, Marvel, this is a notice to you. Please don't come after me. This is just something I wrote that I wanted to share here. Without further ado, let us begin. Get comfortable if you will. If you can, kick back, close your eyes, or if you have to, pause the video if needed to Google the characters' names, the characters, and then the costumes that I put them in. So let's begin. Web Family Origin. The family unites. Throughout the Marvel verses, a quantum slicing event occurs, creating instances of members of the Marvel entities in a new sealed away pocket verse, most notably a Peter Parker, henceforth to be called Amazing Spidey in a future Foundation suit, Miles Morales, Ultimate Spidey, Ben Riley, Scarlet Spider in 90s style attire, Agent Venom, Jessica Drew, Ultimate Spider-Girl, a young clone, not the original, who shall now be called Spider-Girl. Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, of course to be called Black Cat. Green Goblin Jr., calling himself New Goblin, and looking very much like the Spider-Man 3 version, and that in his verse was allied with his amazing like Spidey. Spider-Gwen and Silk. After convincing them to tell him and each other their stories, especially New Goblin's, Amazing convinces them to join him as a team. No, scratch that. A web family. To combat the large onslaught of villains, henchmen, monsters, and general lowlifes brought together by the same event that united them. In order to keep them at their collective best, the family generally will go into each mission with the right people and just as many members needed are needed to ensure victory whilst keeping at least a few off the active line and on reserve so that no members are constantly in field, thus allowing for the family to always be at top form. Now each chapter will be considered a mission, because that's how I wrote it, to focus my energy on writing. Mission 1, a herd of rampaging rhinos. After settling in at a temporary base, a call is broadcast across police bands that a herd of rhinos are tearing up the Midtown Jewel District. And upon hearing this, Amazing selects New Goblin, Spider-Gwen, Scarlet Spider, and Agent Venom, with him at the lead to cut the rampage off before the herd ransacks every shop in town. After arriving on site, the crew decides to use a whole mess of trip lines, web barricades, and even allowing for New Goblin to set pumpkin mines to slow down the 5 rhinos that have amassed after the quantum event. Next thing the family knows, the rhinos trip the first traps, resulting in Amazing's ordering Agent Venom artillery barrage him. Spider-Gwen, wrap up the far left one up. Scarlet Spider, follow up with a double web paw KO. New Goblin, you and I are doing a glider-assisted spider catapult on the far right one. Go, go, go! After a successful sneak attack by Spider-Gwen and Scarlet Spider bringing down their Hornhead, and New Goblin and Amazing's flying catapult nets them a KO. The next thing the other rhinos see is all hell breaking loose upon them as more spiders descend upon them. More than they ever dared to fear would be against them. Left and right they fall as the whipping crew fall into an amazingly effective quip spewing groove. The third falls to Goblin's pump bomb and slap tactics, followed by Scarlet Spider pulling a dumpster-enhanced web hammer finisher. Meanwhile, the last thing the fourth sees is one of Agent Venom's kinetic missiles about to hit him square in the filter, knocking him so far off balance that he falls backwards head first into an open construction pit, KOing himself. And the fifth, attempting to slither away, trips a web mine laid by New Goblin, a creation of his and his versus Spidey. At the outset, alerting the crew by spider sense and radio pings to his position, allowing them to descend upon him like a nightmarish swarm, dropping a punch apiece, collectively KOing him. Once they finished gift wrapping the herd for police and gathering up any unused bombs, they arrive at their new base at the unoccupied but otherwise stocked Avengers Mansion, now called Web Q. The five returning exhausted, sore, and elated victors regale the four others with their first war story. Sensing their war lust, Amazing pulls them aside and tells them the next job is all yours. Mission 2, into the acidic cyclone. A week later, the family hears news that a handful of scorpions have opened up an underground game room, fight venue, speakeasy, and black market mall in a condemned dockside factory. In response to this, Amazing decides to tee up Ultimate, Spider-Girl, Black Cat, and Silk, telling them, "You four are up. Head to the southeast docks and look for Cyclone Limited. I got news that at least 3 scorpions are running at all times. Go incognito, check it out, and if there are 3 or less scorpions on site, bring it down." About half an hour's flipping later, the foursome arrive at Cyclone Limited, put on street clothes, go in, and spread out to get the lay of the land. After doing so, they gather together to compare notes and decide that it is go time. So they slip out and get suited and booted, kick through the windows on opposite sides of the crime center, with Ultimate and Spider-Girl coming in through the east wall, and through the west wall comes Black Cat and Silk. Right away, both pairs neutralize any violent criminals encountered along the way. Then they encounter the 3 scorpions running the show at the time. with an aghast look upon their faces that made them realize they were in for a knockout, drag on fight. Two choose to fight the four heroes with the typical combos and heavy strikes that the heroes have encountered time and time again in their own verses, leading to what seemed to be an easy fight for the good guys is just a diversion for the skittering off tail whipper to alert the others to the trouble in their all-in-one enterprise. Showing up in waves, the hero began to employ combos of their own. First, Silk begins to web up the tails of two Scorps at once, leaving room for Black Cat to slash their masks deep enough to draw blinding blood, causing them to strike their fellow Cyclone members unconscious. And with that success, they do another run, this time on 3 Scorpions, totaling to 6 semi-self-defeat. Then, Ultimate and Spider-Girl begin to employ taser webs on 5 more, Nerve locking them up, leaving them vulnerable to web pong KOs. Then the last 3 arrived, enraged at the scene before them. They begin to spray their acetons empty at the heroes, causing the heroes to create a new combo of catballing, an ever-moving and juggling fastball special with Black Hat as the fastball. Trading between the 3 slingers in a random kick and slash ballet, KOing 2 of the last Scorps in less than a minute. And as a finisher, the 3 spiders take a starting to stir Scorp each, and using them as web hammer replacements, slam them into the last one standing, completely zonking him near death. After all of the criminals are gift wrapped for the Leos, they head back to Web Q and upon arrival recount the epic battle that brought them together as in arms family members. Amazing then tries to lightly berate them for not calling in for backup, to which Ultimate interjects, saying, "Chill, man, they kept coming before we could react, and didn't have time to call for backup." To which Amazing's response is, "Okay, next time, retreat to call us, and then engage. Understood?" After not by all, a small PG-13 first battles party is held. These are in between mission and general info notes to explain a few things. Before their first, and in between every mission, the on-deck family members call dibs on solo or duo street sweeping runs to take care of minor thugs, so to speak. The web queue in the second note is the web queue's Jarvis analog refitted to armor works to produce liters of web fluid, taser web cartridges, pumpkin bombs, web mines, agent venom micro missiles, and any other required materials. Now we return to the missions, with mission 3, the Jack-o'-lantern swarm. A month or so later, and a few hundred knocked hoodlum heads later, everyone from the checkout corner rags to the Daily Bugle starts reporting orange bomb fragments are being found all over NYC, especially around biochemical manufacturers and licensed chemical storage facilities. New Goblin runs to Amazing and short breathedly exclaims, "We got a swarm of other goblins trying to goblinize the city. I think I know where they'll try to do so." To which Amazing says, "NG, catch your breath and tell me everything." Of course, the new goblin lays out every detail and gets the family to scour the rooftop of every 60-plus story building, anything besides standard watcher towers and antennae. Just an hour later, Scarlet Spider calls the entire family to rendezvous at a building in eyesight of the Empire State Building. Upon arriving, they see goblin gas dispensers bolted to the spire atop the Empire State Building, and it grabs bags worth of mixed green goblins and hobgoblins working on and guarding the dispenser cluster. After a think storm, Amazing lays out the battle plan to strike from the shadows by combining taser webs, stunning pumpkin bombs, and concussive missiles from Agent Venom until they run their supplies down, which they do to great effect, rendering a dozen enemy goblins KO'd. Then they begin to relentlessly hit and run at the remaining goblins with brick-enhanced web hammers, catball specials, kinetic, explosive, symbiote webbing missiles, and web mine lethal pumpkin bomb clusters. They do not let up until there are only 4 debris and web bit splattered goblins left. And then the heroes attack head on, raining blow after blow upon the flabbergasted baddies, making sure not a goblin could pull the trigger on the gas dispensers. As an unexpected finisher, New Goblin draws his sword and cleaves the enemy gliders into 2 or more parts, leaving them to fall to the ground, landing hard enough to leave them in comas, screaming tearfully afterwards, "I will not let another goblin harm an innocent thing ever again." A cleanup and massive goblin wrapping later, they call the cops to pick up the goblins and head back to Web Q, and all salute New Goblin for his definitive act of non-lethal finishing violence and pledge. Shower celebrate their first all-in victory a bit, rest, and then get back to business as usual. Mission 4: Hunters Interrupted. When the news of escaped zoo overflow animals being preyed upon reaches the ears and eyes of the Whippers, Spider-Gwen, Ultimate, and Agent Venom race out to the scene of the latest hunt in Central Park, and to their dismay, they discover the arrow and spearheads of 4 different cravens strewn about, and blood trailing outwards towards a warehouse complex nearby. Whilst heading to the complex, they call for Scarlet Spider to meet them a few blocks away. And before going any further, they formulate a plan to first divide the cravens, second, to get them to go blood mad, and third, slam them into each other. With plan in mind, they barge into the hunter's den from all sides, miraculously catching them unawares. Take a craven each and begin to taunt and harass their prey by hucking web loogies at them until they do go indeed that. They do indeed go blood mad. Sorry about that. As soon as they do so, they lead their respective hunter around and around and around in circles long enough that the cravens begin to fume, all foam at the mouth, swear incoherently, and swing, chuck, and or chuck their weapons wildly. At that point, the Thwippers quickly and efficiently start leading the hunters to the center of their own den, and then wha-bam! The ploy works almost perfectly, and the predators turn prey are seen and heard slamming into one another, creating a mix between slapping and squishing sounds. Then the heroes descend from the rafters to deliver the coup de grace on their foes, ending their mission quickly and without much bloodshed. To wrap up the scene, they of course search, disarm, and then wed the hunters to triple planed web and finding living animals. Spider-Gwen calls animal control from a cell phone found on site. Ultimate calls NYPD from one nearby phone. Scarlet Spider does the same as Ultimate from another on the other side of the warehouse. And Agent Venom keeps an eye on the warehouse interior from below the window where he entered it until the all too familiar cacophony of sirens from animal control and NYPD vehicles are all but deafening, at which point he web swings away, meeting up with his mission mates, and together they start swinging, laughing, and jesting all the way home. Once there, they begin downloading the rest on their adventure and great comedic boasts. Then they bathe, eat, and collapse in their bunks, snoozing until long after the sun rises. Mission 5: The Family's Unexpected Growth. A year of one or two villains at a time, busting missions, and countless scum scrubbing leaders, the hero to begin to hear rumors of other web slingers being held at a military-grade mental hospital. Amazing and Ultimate whip their way to the hospital after having to stealth their way in, discover an unexpected surprise. Laying there, IV drips and restraints aplenty, lay upon three beds are a venom-bonded symbiote. Yeah, a venom symbiote bonded Mary Jane Watson, henceforth to be known as She-Venom, an anti-venom, and Cold Star, and a Cold Star, the daughter of Firestar and Iceman in an alternate verse, who can fly and firebomb targets like her mother or freeze blast them like her father. The wall crawlers then discover that a lone chameleon had trapped the trio to prevent them from joining the Webb family out of revenge for spoiling his half-brother's trophy competition amongst perceived equals. Understandably enraged, Amazing calls in New Goblin, Agent Venom, and Silk for backup. Give or take a quarter of an hour later, they meet up outside the hospital where Amazing crowdstorms a plan wherein New Goblin and Agent Venom would KO gas bomb as many of the guards as they can. Then the trio of Webbers would fight their way in to retrieve the accidental hostages. if they have to, fight Chameleon, and then they would mate and flee back to Whip Q before anyone's the wiser. As soon as New Goblin and Agent Venom get into 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions outside the hospital, their sleep-inducing bombardment begins. And a few moments later, with makeshift gas masks on, Amazing, Ultimate, and Silk begin their web foo laden breach, kicking, punching, tasing, and webbing the young guests. Guards left, right, up, down, ahead, and behind. Before they know it, they reach the sedation wing, where the prisoners are being held. Chameleon sneaks up behind them, disguised as New Goblin, sans glider, and feigns unlocking the door, claiming, "Hey, buddy, I came in to give you all a hand, and I found this key in a desk close to the front door." No sooner did he start saying this, the trio's spidey senses alert them in unison to the deception at hand, resulting in an Amazing and Ultimate simultaneously kicking him away and then web flinging Chameleon into Silk's rolling catapult kick, breaking down the door and knocking over the IV pumps and yanking their lines out of She-Venom and Anti-Venom's arms, whose symbiotes almost immediately begin to saw through the restraints. And then Silk goes over to Coldstar, yanks the IVs out, and rips through the ice-weakened restraints. With all of this going on, the unconscious face copier's disguise drops, revealing his bloodied true face to a handful of guards that manage to grab some gas masks. Realizing who they've been working for, lets the web slingers take the now free but still unconscious hostages and promise to do all they can to rectify the situation. They then meet up with their artillery crew, show them the rescuees, return to Web Q, take their mostly unconscious acquisitions to the infirmary, do the post-mutual retrieving sans partying, and wait for them to wake fully and tell of their stories. She-Venoms and Anti-Venoms are, as one might suspect, with their ends being ones where they each became great allies to their amazing like Spideys. Then Coldstar introduces herself as Parker Drake, the daughter of Iceman and Firestar, born after the death of their Spidey, resulting in him being her namesake. And after being told of the ongoing situation, they ask to join the family. Unsurprisingly, the Webb family welcomes them with open arms and have a welcoming party. And thus concludes our reading for the day. Please feel free to tell me down below what your thoughts are on my story thus far, and stay tuned for the next half. If successful, I will continue to read. I will read the continuing adventures a bit at a time to provide for shorter videos. And if you really like what you're hearing so far, please. And with that, I'm out.